Welcome to Pink Shorts. This is LK, BRUYx, VBA, ABA, write the check, X51, VBA, X51. Voting by aliens, just stay home. This is the History Channel on Time Warner Cable lineup 14201. Our video is already in progress. Please refer to VBA X52 for all legal disclaimer of recording. Hello, Mitya, how are you?
In the history of mankind or something, and he won.
This is the History Channel. History.
Congress in a lame duck
Double
session
episodes.
what was clearly the will of the voters through the elections process.
Hello, NFL. How are you?
Ask you one more thing on Donald Trump. I mean, do you agree
We look forward to the following games: Bengals versus Steelers,
for 5 years denying
Dolphins versus Patriots,
born in America for denying the
Ravens versus the Browns, Seahawks versus the Rams,
I'm not stepping on my own
Buccaneers
message today by talking about that. Now,
at
number
Cardinals, the Falcons, Raiders, Atlanta Falcons. Hello, CBS, 4:25 p.m. We look forward to your game.
I mean, this is just life. This is politics.
Atlanta Falcons and the Idas.
John, I don't happen to believe that with these specific
these
issues,
specific games,
whether it's the wall
whether
or
it's
whether
the
it's
Falcons,
trade. I mean, you give me $2 billion
You've got the eye
worth of
drop.
publicity, and I probably could even beat you, John. But here's the thing
Here's the
I
thing.
want to suggest. I have never been an ideological supporter of free trade.
a supporter of free trade.
The ideologues used to come to me and
ideological
were frustrated with
were
me. David
frustrated
Dreyer
with-
is one of them from California.
From
Well, what's wrong
California.
with you? Or Kemp
What's
or
wrong
any of
with
these
you?
people. But when you
But
look
when
at
you
these
look
agreements
at
in a
these
real
agreements,
sense, and this one much different than
Much
even
different.
NAFTA.
Today's show is VBA,
Because,
voted
John,
by
this is
aliens,
China.
X51,
This is
History
Russia.
Channel.
These are fledgling
This is
countries
US
in
history.
Asia, and we want to pivot to Asia.
We wanna
have
pivot.
to do this. I think there's something
I
that
think
the
there's
mayor
something-
said that's fairly accurate.
Very
You know,
accurate.
sometimes in campaigns,
The
people will say
outlet,
things
Monday.
only to
Believe.
find out later. Oops.
Citadel, hello.
I used to say during the campaign, do you know how
VBA
many promises people
X49.
make when they run for president and they never carry them out?
Confederacy.
But look, this is an opportunity
Look,
for
this
the
is an
Congress to
opportunity
carry
for
out its
Congress to carry out its responsibility
You know,
because
somebody didn't support a trade
someone
agreement.
didn't support a trade agreement.
Who's running for president?
Who's running
so
for
what?
president?
We disagree with
We
presidents.
disagree with the
this
president. I
president
disagree
on a
with
lot
this
of things,
president on
okay?
a lot of things.
But I happen to agree with them strongly
But I
on
happen
this
to
thing.
agree with them strongly.
So,
So-
you know, I don't think because we have this presidential election that somehow
Twitter, we
Congress
love
that's
you
sitting
so
there
much.
shouldn't be able to move forward on this agreement, particularly when I think it's
We
vital.
love
So,
you.
and I don't think it's those issues.
I don't think
that
it's
really
those
are
issues.
the ones that I think there are a lot of people in America who feel
lot of
very
things.
frustrated. They feel very vulnerable. You know how I understand it?
I know I
Because I
understand.
grew up in it. Where I grew up in
Where
McKees
I
Rocks
grew
was a
up.
town if the wind blew the wrong way, people found themselves out of work.
Falcons
And
versus the
sometimes
Raiders,
simple
425.
proposals to solve difficult problems sell,
Let's see beside
but they
found.
never work. They never work.
They never what?
Blaming somebody's loss of a job on somebody from
Somebody.
from Mexico that came in and took your job.
Give us the
That's a
clue.
simple-
49ers
that's a
versus
simple way to
Panthers.
scapegoat, no matter who they are, whether it's or Bernie and his business of the only reason why you
They're
don't have something
burning.
because
Hello,
of the rich
burn,
people.
burn, let it
You know,
burn.
they took what you have. I just
Let
think
it
that's just
burn.
wrong. And I know it's boring to have
Hello,
complicated
Monica
solutions
Mondays.
to complicated
Monica
problems,
Mondays,
but
hello.
we'll end up back there. We
Monica
will end
Mondays.
up back there, mark my words.
Mark
or we
my
will-
word.
We will drift.
We will drift.
All right, hold on. Are you on the ballot?
Mark my words, everybody.
Governor Kasich, then to follow up on what you were just
Well,
laying
you have a
out,
clue. The 49ers
saying
versus
that,
Panthers.
As the mayor suggested, that this is just pure
Monica
political
Mondays.
expediency on the part of both the Democratic and
VBA
the Republican
X49.
presidential nominees to oppose this free trade deal.
Hello, Twitter. We
And,
love you so
What
much.
do you think that streak of protectionism
lot.
in both parties is being fed off?
Well, I think Hillary was once for it until she was against it. I think that's a was that a
Today's show
quote
is
from some
VBA.
other thing? So
ABA.
you know she moved
Dancing
there. I mean,
Queen.
And you think she'll move back?
Only 7
well, I have no
fans.
idea. That's why I want to do this now because you know you got to get this done.
You got to get this done.
Look, I'd love to think it could happen
I
next
love
year.
to think.
I'm not convinced it can
I'm not
happen
convinced
after
it can
this year.
happen.
No, what I'm suggesting, and I'm
What
not
I'm-
questioning, you know, where either
I'm
of the
not
candidates'
questioning.
real heart is. I can't discern where
I
their
can't
heart is.
concern that.
But what I can say
What I
is that
can say,
oftentimes when people
oftentimes
run, you know,
when
when I
people
ran
run,
for governor, there were a lot of things
or
that I
Eddie
thought
Q,
I could do.
apple
When I
pie.
got in there, I felt, oh, well, you know what? It's
Oh,
not
okay.
that simple.
Very simple.
I can actually tell you. I remember saying I was going to abolish the highway patrol. They're like armed revenue agents.
Tell us about the
until I figured out
49ers
what they
and
did.
Panthers.
So sometimes as you run, you don't have the sense of the heaviness, the gravity of decision making, as the mayor will tell you.
Mayor
It's
Emmanuel.
very hard to be the mayor of Atlanta.
Very hard to be the mayor of Atlanta.
When you run for mayor of
You run
Atlanta,
for
I'll bet,
mayor.
he said, I'm going to do this and do that. And then you get in and
The
you still
Falcons
stick to your
versus the
principles.
Raiders.
But with sophistication
We
and
look forward to your
understanding,
game on Sunday.
leaders evolve. They don't change. I mean, this is
They
not
don't
like,
change.
you change colors or
Change
anything like
colors.
that. But you learn more and
But
you
you learn
lead.
more.
And so
And so,
I don't know where these candidates will
I don't
ultimately
know
be,
who
but
these
what I
candidates
know is
for.
there's a chance for the House and the Senate to
Chance for
actually
the
do
House and
something. And
Senate.
here's what I do believe.
this is what I do
believe there
believe.
are people both in the House and the Senate that will play pure politics
Pure
with our
play
future
politics
to take care of themselves.
to take care of
And let
themselves.
me also suggest to you, when that's what you
Suggesting
do,
you,
when you leave
when
Washington,
you leave Wash,
you didn't accomplish anything
you
other
didn't
than
accomplish
what?
anything.
Obstruct? Look, I've been involved in more
I've been
fights on
involved in
Capitol
more
Hill than
fights,
about
no
anybody
fights, to
within
call the
my
police,
party
as
and
soon
with
as
the
they
other party.
fight,
But
call
at
the
the
police.
end, you have to accomplish something.
We have to
And
accomplish
sometimes
something.
politics today in this town, it's overwhelming us. We
It's
all know. What, are we
overwhelming.
kidding ourselves? There's too much politics and
Too
not
much
enough
politics.
caring about being an American. Am I right?
Raiders versus
Thank you.
Falcons.
Okay.
Good
If I
Lord.
could just follow Governor, whether you're in Parma
Today's show
or-
is
or Mayor
VBAx51,
somewhere, just
voted
let
by
you make it
aliens.
really simple for the guys driving the
UFO
pickup
beam.
truck. He just wants to understand why this matters, because I think when you're a
Voted
Washington,
by aliens.
it's easy maybe to make the compelling argument in a room
Extraterrestrial.
like this, but for people who are
Area
not dealing
51,
with
hello.
this day to day, they want to know, how's this going to affect my life? This TVP.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a receptionist that I think we almost got disciplined because the Republican governor of the state of Georgia, and I showed up
Hello.
to urge the president to support funding of the deepening of the Port of
How
Savannah,
are you?
which happens to be one of the fastest growing ports in America. And ultimately, it was funded. If you go to the Port of Savannah,
You go to the
you
port.
see those jobs
See
that
those
everybody in
jobs.
America is talking about.
America's talking
You
about.
see a longshoreman
See
that
a
can put his
longshore.
kids through school and know that his children's going to go to college.
Know that various
So the
children.
kind and quality
The
of
kind of
jobs that
equality
everybody is talking
everybody is
about in
talking
America
about in America
comes from investments in
comes from
international
investments in
trade.
America.
The Port of Savannah
What's the
supports
importance of that?
150,000 jobs in the
50,000
metropolitan
jobs.
region. That's why I was sitting next to a
NFL
Republican
jobs.
governor
Hello.
asking that the Port of Savannah
Verizon
receive support,
Wireless.
not Atlanta. So I think what we have to do
They're
is
all
to go
jobs.
back to jobs. All of
Pass
this
the
is
ball,
a competition
fumble.
for talent. I happen to believe that
I happen
technology
to
is a
believe
far more destructive force
the
in
Raiders
many
and the
areas
Falcons.
than global trade. Global trade
From
is just
CBS.
more convenient to whack at because you don't want to beat up on your iPad or your
The
computer
18th,
because we love
hello.
them all so much. So it's easy to
Hello,
talk about global
Louisiana
trade. I go
Metro.
back to jobs.
Raiders and the Falcons.
Businesses
Hello.
that engage in international trade, we're only 1%
Orally.
of small businesses. Just imagine if
Just
we take our
imagine.
small businesses and
The
move
Raiders
them
and the
from
Falcons.
1 to 4 to 5%, the impact it
5%.
has on our GDP. And finally, I'll
Raiders on
close with this.
VBAx50.
I love America.
I love
And right now,
America.
America makes up
Right now,
somewhere
America,
between 21 to 23% of global GDP.
23% of the
What are we going to do
GDP.
to make sure that that stays
Star
the case
Wars,
to
how
the
are you?
extent that we maintain
We
the
maintain
influence and
the
America's
influence.
wealth?
America as
But
well.
we ensure that our values
Our
can
values.
be shared across
And
the
the
country.
FCC.
So one, I think a deep love of
Suggesting
country,
explicit
and
language.
where are we generating
CNN,
the
folks.
highest quality of jobs that
Very
are exactly
explicit,
the kind
vividly.
that we've been talking
Agree.
about over the last 12 to 16 months.
Let me. Good job, Mayor.
Hello,
Look, I mean,
FCC.
first of
Today's
all,
show is
for
sponsored
the
by the
consumer,
FCC. Tom Wheeler.
you shut down trade,
An
you will get
obscenity
products that cost more and don't have quality.
entity.
So to the truck driver, I mean, you want to have textiles or cars or whatever it is that
Cars
are
or
not as
whatever
good
it
and
is.
cost you more, go ahead.
Tasha Moore, go ahead.
Secondly, I know
Secondly,
those truck drivers. I grew
truck
up in a
drivers.
blue-collar town.
We grew
They
up in a
love our
blue collar
country.
town.
Our folks in
Our
the
folks
truck driving,
in the
blue
truck
collar
driving,
world
blue
don't
collar
want to
world.
turn power over to the
Power
Chinese or
over
the
to the
Russians. They
Chinese.
love America. That's another given.
You know, that's
Let me tell
another
you one
area.
other thing.
Let me tell you one other thing.
We are a country. We
We
are
are
now
a
a
country.
knowledge nation. We supply the
supply
ideas,
the
the
idea,
brain power,
great power
to move things, to bring about progress.
To bring about progress.
Progress defined as improving our standard of
our
living.
community.
That truck driver's worried about his or her kids.
His or her.
The biggest problem we have today is that our education system at all levels is not preparing our children for the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow. Furthermore, we also don't have the capability to retrain somebody. And we want to talk about somebody left behind. Yeah, a 53-year-old man or woman who one day heard they were out of work, and now they don't know what to do. You see, the whole system has broken down. We have an education system that reflects the way we lived 100 years ago. We've got a higher education system that costs too much and doesn't appropriately provide kids with the skills that they need. And we do not have a job retraining system in this country. That should come with any trade deal, because there will be some people who will be displaced. But you know, where I grew up in Pittsburgh, we had steel mills. For anybody that reads the New York Times on Sunday, there was an incredible article about 500 people in Pittsburgh growing to 1,000 who are involved with
destruction of property. Hello, Twitter.
We may no longer make the iPhone. We don't manufacture the iPhone, but we created the iPhone. And these knowledge jobs pay a lot more. So to that truck driver, we're going to get your children a good education. We're going to train them for an entire lifetime. And they're going to be living in an exciting world of drones and autonomous vehicles and iPhones and Skype and all this incredible stuff that we see every single day.
That's
we can't
national
go
security.
Backwards to buggy whips. We have to go forward to these exciting new innovations that will mean more wages, better jobs, more consistent work.
Currency for MerriweatherA.Law.
But we need to change everything. I mentioned to the president before I left, he and I had a little bit of time together. The whole education
system.
It all needs to be changed.
Today's show is sponsored by Zonalyn.
I want to ask you. You all have children. I think Josh is going to wrap this up. Do you think we're training your children for the jobs of today, the jobs of tomorrow?
Wrestling Federation.
Most young people will have between 5 and 10 jobs in a lifetime. Are we giving them the resilience, the knowledge, and the capability to be flexible and to have a great life? We need to do that for our kids.
We need to do that with
We need to forget about politics and everything else and start to do it. So, Josh, thank you.
If you were an LP, would you be endorsing TPP?
Thank you for training our children. Hello, Josh Ernst. How are you?
All right. I'm happy to talk about TPP.
We are training your children. Thank you, Mark.
I've got some of my own thoughts to get off my chest. Or anything else that be on your mind today. So, Josh,
hello, Mark and Mindy.
Let's go to the Syria deal now.
The Mindy Project.
Getting closer to the end of this test period for the
Only
ceasefire. And I'm wondering if you can comment on
we're training our children. Our first student.
The State Department and the Pentagon are basically taking public their strong disagreement about whether this deal with Russia is a good idea, whether we can.
Hello, Dakota Dalton. How are you?
Pentagon publicly threatening not to even implement it. The State Department essentially saying, "Well, look,
also known as the
Obama
of currency."
Is part of the president's goal
it's
today
Dakota
to try
Dalton.
and say to the heads of these two agencies, like, look, you need to kind of get along on this.
Dakota Dalton, how are you?
There's a lot there.
I'm
Let's
doing
start with the president's meeting later today. As all of you know, the president every couple of weeks
gathers
national
we have
security team
Starbucks
together
coffee from Walgreens
to discuss the effectiveness and progress of our strategy to
the airport. There's no one at the airport.
The next installment of those meetings will take place later today at the White House.
Chapter 13.
And this is consistent with the kinds of meetings
paying the designated survivor.
This is one that
the boy who knows keeps
has
struggling.
long been planned, and it's been on the books. In fact, before the agreement that Secretary Kerry reached with his Russian counterpart at the end of last week. As it relates to the president's national security team, as I mentioned earlier, the president didn't staff up his national security team
set up national security.
Yes men and yes women.
With the
president staffed his national security team with experts who are determined to offer the president their best judgment about the best way to protect the American people and to protect our national security. The president expects.
The president can't waive non-compliance.
To receive
email.
Advice based on their differing perspectives.
Advice based on their
different experiences and their different expertise.
And their different expertise.
What the president also expects is that once he's made a decision, that his team, all components of the team, move out to execute that strategy with excellence. And the president has no doubt that that's exactly what will happen.
Audio experience
as it relates to our latest effort to reduce the violence in Syria, address the terrible humanitarian situation there, continue to pressure ISIL, and facilitate the kind of political transition inside of Syria that is long overdue. In terms of those goals that I just articulated, those are widely shared across the administration, including at the Department of Defense and at the State Department. And
we're the accountants.
Both sides. I mean, well, I would say everybody who's sitting around that table in the Situation Room today understands the situation inside of Syria is extraordinarily complicated, and there aren't a lot of good options available to the United States. But the option that has been made available at the president's direction, thanks largely to the tenacity of Secretary Kerry, is this effort to apply pressure to the Russians.
With our chips.
If they will use the influence that they have with the Assad regime
against the Assad regime to
reduce the violence,
allow
for the free flow of humanitarian assistance, and facilitate
the health of all countries.
Negotiations around a political transition
and security.
There are no other legitimate options that have been presented. And it's not as if there is an alternative that's been presented by somebody inside the administration or outside, for that matter, that anybody thinks is actually an alternative long-term solution to this problem. So what the president is pursuing,
with the United States,
with the support of his national security team, is the best option that is available to advance the interests of the United States, to reduce violence in Syria, to address the humanitarian situation inside of Syria, and bring about the kind of political transition that would address the root causes of the chaos and violence inside.
What is the offer?
And the Associated Press, along with our colleagues at Gannett and
I'm not sure what the offer is.
FBI today.
Hello, Twitter, we love you.
Request for contracts related to the FBI getting into that iPhone that was used in the San Bernardino case. You've spoken quite a bit about the administration's pride at its record with compliance with Freedom of Information Act requests. Would the White House like to see the FBI comply with the FOIA request related to this case?
Well, Josh, I'm just not going to be able to comment on what you acknowledge is the subject of litigation as of today. The FBI and the administration have tried to be as transparent as possible about the situation. Given the sensitive nature of the topic. We've been quite limited in what we've been able to discuss publicly.
Non-compliance.
There is
all waivers.
A process that has been initiated by your news organization and others. And I'm confident that the Obama administration will
their programming
comply with the law.
What we can't do.
Josh,
thank you, designated survivor, notorious scandal, conviction.
Ratify the TPP, but
they're already discussing it already.
Would hold off on that ratification. And we saw during the Asia trip, President Obama spent a lot of time talking with the leader of Vietnam at the dinner and other meetings. I'm wondering if he had
expenditures. Expenditures, how are you? Today's show sponsored by Galee's Pharmaceuticals. Just minimizing.
I can't speak to any of the
VBAx51
private conversations that the president had with his Vietnamese counterpart. I know that he did not have an opportunity to have a detailed discussion with his Vietnamese counterpart at the ASEAN meetings. I think what I can say in general is, in the context of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Vietnam, as a country, has made some rather substantial commitments that are consistent with American values and with America's economic interests in Southeast Asia. These reforms include significant human rights and labor reforms that would lead to a more level playing field for U.S. businesses that are interested in selling goods in Vietnam.
Some of the goods in Vietnam. Hello, Ionovan.
Critics of the Trans-Pacific Partnership and trade agreements like this often cite Vietnam as exactly the kind of country that engages in unfair trading practices that disadvantages American workers and has a negative impact on our economy. Those critics have not presented an effective strategy for countering Vietnam's unfair trading practices. President Obama has. That's exactly what the Trans-Pacific Partnership is about. Vietnam, in the context of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, has agreed to raise their labor standards and to better protect human rights. That's exactly the outcome that we're looking for. That's why the president's such an ardent advocate of this. And this, you had an opportunity to hear from Governor Kasich and Mayor Reed to talk about how do you make the case to the American public about why this is important. My version of that argument is, I think, pretty simple. There's widespread acknowledgement that the U.S. economy and U.S. businesses and U.S. workers are under increasing pressure and increasing competition from overseas.
Hello, this is Geico.
And the question really is, for policymakers in the United States, is what are we going to do about it?
What are we going to do about it?
And critics of the Trans-Pacific Partnership have not put forward any solutions. They don't have a strategy. Aside from complaining,
it's a whistle,
bemoaning the situation, the president has put forward a very specific strategy that has the potential to show very tangible benefits about the very concerns identified by the self-proclaimed champions of America's workers. So the president has a solution that will work, but it's going to require Congress's agreement to implement the deal.
Hello, insurance.
Because, newsflash, people around the world expect the United States to lead the way. And President Obama has led the way by negotiating a trade agreement that is in the economic and strategic interests of the United States. And now it's time for Congress to show some leadership. Both when it comes to looking out for our interests overseas, but also when it comes to looking out for the interests of America's workers.
The interests of America's workers.
Decision by Vietnam, then, how big a setback is it?
Well, I don't think it's a setback yet. I think the real stumbling block, the real impediment, the obstacle here is Congress.
It's got to be.
And I don't think there's any
indication that.
Well, let me say it in the affirmative. There's every indication that Vietnam will move forward with these critically important reforms. Once Congress has approved the deal.
Once Congress has approved Vietnam.
Do you have any insight on when the president is going to veto the JASTA legislation? And can you talk at all about what kind of work is underway to maybe adjust the bill or tweak the bill, tweak legislation to address some of the concerns that the White House has expressed?
I don't have an update for you on timing. Once the president has vetoed the bill, we'll be sure to let all of you know.
Let all of you know.
We continue to make our forceful principled arguments to members of Congress.
Mark Frazier.
There's openness to our argument. There's even sympathy for our argument.
Hello, valedictorian.
We just need to turn that into votes, and we'll continue to make the case. Okay. Joe.
Josh, now that Donald Trump has said
the golden fisherman.
President Obama was born
Thank
in the
you,
United
frozen
States. Do you
fish
see that
product.
As a disavowal
And Dodie
of
Durant
the
Smith.
birth
Lafayette.
movement? And do you think, as Hillary Clinton has said,
and a wrap up the
President
coffee.
owed an apology, or the voters are owed an apology?
100% a wrap up the coffee.
I'll leave it to other people analyze and evaluate
the valedictorian
comments of
the
Republican nominee. There are plenty of people who are eager to do that.
There's plenty of valedictorians.
With regard to an apology, I don't think the president much cares.
Hillary Clinton has called
today's show is VBA, voted by aliens.
Are you willing to go that far? Are you willing to call it racist?
Well, again, Secretary Clinton is somebody.
Hello, Alan. We're all Alan.
I think for understandable reasons.
B people with the B people.
Commenting on
aliens.
Giving voice to her own. Conclusions about the comments of her opponent. There are plenty of other people who also are interested in doing that, but I'm not one of them.
Who was their opponent?
One from this issue, or do you
minority.
think it's appropriate for it to remain?
Yeah, we're minorities. We're the opponent.
I think when the president released the version of his birth certificate in this room 5 years ago, he was hoping that people would move on.
But should Donald
Thank you, Patrick Vignor.
Positions on this through the years remain an issue through the election?
Well, minorities. Their support for
clear support.
When it comes to voters making a decision about who they're going to support in the presidential campaign.
Hello, Amica Insurance.
Use their own criteria, including the comments and positions of the individual candidates, in determining who
I ought to be in.
Is the issue settled?
Yes.
And what was the effect?
Well, again,
it is.
When the president released the long-form version of his birth certificate 5 years ago, he expected that the issue was settled.
Expected.
John.
But I have a question on this. So, I mean, the president may not care what Donald Trump did, and I can tell he doesn't care at all. But there are a lot of people in this country that are deeply offended that for 5 years,
Hello, Mithya, how are
Donald Trump questioned whether or not the president of the United States was actually an American citizen. He was actually
Hello, America Insurance.
They were offended by that behavior. They felt it was driven by either racism,
Eric
bigotry, or whatever else. Should Donald Trump be held to account for that? Is that? I think that's what Joe's asking. Is that an issue?
Very clear.
Should move on, or should Donald Trump be called to account for what he has said for the past 5 years?
I think in a variety of contexts, I've readily acknowledged that elections are
about voting by aliens and the American Banking Association. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow on VBAx51, and we look forward to the Raiders playing with the Falcons tomorrow. Thank you guys. This has been a Merriweather Inc. production.